The next topic we're going to take a look at here are an example of a key action operator in the Mono class. Action operators are operators that don't modify the value that's being emitted by the Mono, but instead will emit the same value that they get, but there could be a side effect that's performed by the action operator. So you'll see action operators only have side effects. They don't actually change the values of the monos that flow through them. We're going to take a look here at the doOnSuccess action operator. And what this does is it adds a behavior that will be triggered when the mono completes successfully. So here we have the method doOnSuccess. It takes a parameter, which is a behavior, which in this case is a consumer. Consumer is just a good old functional interface from Java 8. And what it does is it basically is being used as a callback. So this consumer on success will be called back if the mono it gets is a successful completion from the previous stage. So hopefully you know what a callback is. It's just a way of being able to have some side effect. doOnSuccess returns a mono that is not modified at all. The type isn't changed, the value isn't changed. The element is exactly the same, it just passes through, but the side effect is called to have a side effect. That's the whole point. You typically use these action operators for debugging or logging. So they're a little bit like peek, which is something you'd see in Java streams. And here's an example of how we might do this. We might have mono from callable, where we get a reduced big fraction, and then, assuming that succeeds, we go ahead and take the value, the big fraction value, and we go ahead and log it. But the big fraction will remain unchanged. It'll be passed straight through. And we'll show this when we look at the example here in more detail. RxJava has a doOnSuccess method on single that works identically to doOnSuccess for mono. And you can use the ThenAccept method that's part of the Completable Futures API, which is what you're using now. I mean, you're using Completable Futures for assignment 3, but you can use the ThenAccept method in a somewhat similar way, in the sense that it will be used for side effect purposes. It just prints the results out. Now, the main difference is it does actually return a completable future that has no value to it. So it has slight different semantics than doOnSuccess, but you can use it for side effects. Basically, that's the main idea. So that's the end of the key action operators in the Mono class. There's a bunch of other action operators. There's, doOn, error, and all these other things, which we will perhaps talk about or perhaps not. But the key one we're going to look at here is doOnSuccess. And all the action operators have the same characteristic. They don't modify the mono contents. They just have a side effect that does something, log or print or whatever.